掉下来就开了。
不是，它有一个对，在
我们都知道能够报这个重点啊，讲有科研啊，关系啊。我用到打的这样，我一个应该是类似的。对。类似。
我有放你的结果2张是吧？
盖这个来看一看。
它这个造价就是卖价，35亿是1亿，35亿8000万，9000万。35亿
挂在上面你就可以
用挂了。它这样耳挂是很方便。
反过来，这是反过来。
这样搞，你弄错了吧？
对，它这是1万还是？不用试。
这样的，这个还蛮好的。
Good afternoon, everyone. Today it's my pleasure to have Professor Qingrui Zhang to give a colloquial talk. I think since the Professor Zhang is actually was our vice president until January 2019. And so I will give you a very brief introduction to him. Professor Zhang graduated from the NTU in 1979, and then he went to UC San Diego for his doctoral study. Then after obtaining his PhD degree, he went back to Taiwan in this in Hsinchu for 1 year, then became the associate professor in our department, and then he got his first professorship, full professorship in 1994. Then it is become our chairman of the department, the dean of the College of Science, and the vice president of this university. And he also is awarded as an APS fellow and one of the Dominican in Russia. So he has a lot of glory, honors in his academia performance. So today he's going to talk about this second quantum revolution. He told me this is the 1 hour is too short for him. So probably 3 hours is the right measure. So anyway, let's welcome Professor Zhang.
Okay, thank you, Chairman Chen. And it's my great pleasure actually give this some kind of introduction and the promotion talk for the quantum computer. And hopefully you learn, what is the importance of the quantum computer after this talk. And actually, I probably will go through what is the history for this. And first, actually, before I came to here, I tried to put my title as a third quantum war. And the previous chairman Chen told me the third quantum war is too provoking. So I changed to the second quantum revolution. But anyway, and this is actually I will give what it means first quantum technology revolution. What is the second? Right now, all the world I think right now is the second quantum technology revolution. The basic concept I will introduce a little bit. Actually, superposition, entanglement, measurement, Hilbert space. Actually, the powerful things for the quantum computer comes mainly from the Hilbert space. And then hopefully I have 5 minutes for hardware introduction, gate operator, algorithm, and application. Right now, actually, application cover almost every field. That's the reason why people think this is really a quantum revolution. And I will not mention the other things such as quantum communication and the quantum sensor and the metrology. That's different things, but actually right now we think the 4 pillars of the quantum revolution. One is quantum computer hardware, quantum computer software, and the algorithm and application. Third one is quantum communication. The fourth one is quantum sensor and metrology. In this building, the 7th floor, if you have time, but we can drop by. Actually, we initiated the NTU IBM Quantum Hub at NTU, and the agreement was, signed by the NTU and the IBM. So all the NTU faculty, student, and all the Taiwanese academic people, non-commercial research partner can use those quantum computers for free. 20 qubits actually for the before this month. Suppose 53 qubits will be online before the end of this month for IBM. Yeah, they can actually from IBM. So this is initiative, the ceremony actually in this January. We have the joint workshop actually in NTU, and IBM sent a lot of technicians going down to teach how we use this. And the 7th floor, if you go there, they have a photo. This actually, the parade actually, this is a good sign for photo. The quantum computer IBM Q network actually right now worldwide for the quantum computer IBM Hub right now they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We are the 7th. After us, we have 2 more come from, and one is INL actually for Portugal, the National Research Laboratory, and the last one only announced last month from Hope. Actually, within the next 2 years, they will contribute to IBM 650 million euro, and we are the 7th. So what is the purpose for the NTU Quantum Hub? Actually, that we're doing the promotion. That's what I did right now, try to do right now. Education, actually, we do a lot right now. We have a group actually circulate around the Taiwan, all the Taiwan university to give a 3-hour introduction to teach you how to register on the IBM Quantum Hub and how to do the programming, how to do some example over there, 3-hour lesson in everywhere right now. And also we have the international cooperation with the other side, the IBM Quantum Computer Hub. Actually, we have very close collaboration right now with Keele University. They have a big group over there. And right now, we probably for the promotion lesson, we have around more than 800 students already attend our session. And we do talk with a lot of big company and the big bank inside Taiwan, such as, you know, the Yushan Yinhang, Songhua Kaifa, and also Foxconn, Formosa Plastic Corporation. They all show interested, but they want us to solve the problem for them. I told them it's impossible. You need to send your people to join study with us. And the last month, we had a special session actually on Semicon, and to tell the people actually what we are doing right now here. We also collaborate with the E3 and the III right now. So actually, why quantum computers show up? The main reason is that semiconductor actually hit the world. Why the semiconductor and IC industrial process was so successful for past 60 years? The main reason is because of scaling. They usually very proud of the Moore's law. Let's give the exponential scaling of the Moore's law. But right now, actually, they hit almost the fundamental physical limit. So they have the problem right now. So that's the reason why the quantum computer came out. So actually, if we go back to the semiconductor business, the Dana rule frequency is such a long time ago. Moore's law actually militarized hit the world. And the energy consumption, actually, they have the fundamental thermodynamic limit, actually, Kume law also hit the boundary. And the parallel computer, actually, Adam's law tell you, no matter how many, parallel processes you're doing, you will saturate again. So right now, they go into the 3D architecture. So is that possible to go to architecture? But another possibility is that, so one way is doing the 3D, use the same, scaling, but with the 3D another design. So another possibility is try to find a new material. So that's the reason why they go to the spintronic and the graphene and the 2D new material. Use the same technology, but new material. The third direction is that, can we find a new physics? And the new physics, of course, they have a lot of ways. Quantum computer is one of them. So what we can do for this century? The Moore's law actually give you the scaling. So every 2 years, you will double. So 2 to the nth power. Recently, the Google production line manager, actually the group leader, Neven, become very popular right now. He mentioned that actually for quantum computer, we can even grow much faster than the conventional computer. One of the 2 to the nth power comes from the scaling law, because actually quantum computer just follow the same technology. So the hardware actually grows like this scaling law. A second actually is from the qubit inside the Hilbert space. So every double your qubit, you have another power, exponential power. So he claimed the new Nevin's law is 2 to the nth power. So much faster than the Moore's law before. So if we really have problem, we need to resort to our physics. And this physics, actually, you can go back to Soviet, conference 1922. And in this conference, they have a lot of famous person. Actually, 29 participants in this photo, 17 of them got Nobel Prize. And Heisenberg and Born, actually, in this conference conclude that the revolution was over and nothing further was needed, actually, for the quantum science. So if we have the technology problem, then we need to go back to see what we can do from the physics. So for the quantum mechanics area, actually the zero quantum revolution, that's what I say. First quantum war, actually is E equal to mc squared. Actually, we do the celebration of that 205 in the 101 tau. And the first quantum revolution, we call the second quantum war. Actually, 1951, when the MOS was invented, and suddenly computing power becomes so tremendous. But the first quantum war used the E equal to mc squared. The second one used the quantum interference, quantum tunneling, and the quantization, energy band. So if we go back to the quantum science, we still have a lot of things can be used in the technology. And what will be left? And so right now it's the second quantum revolution, the third quantum war. And the United States just issued one National Quantum Initiative Act in the end of last year. And actually they claim United States need to spend all their possibility actually in this second quantum revolution. So we try to use spintronic superposition, entanglement, and quantum measurement, most of all the Hilbert space. So right now, actually, the people think the roadmap actually for the quantum computer will be something like this. So right now we are on this stage. Actually, Google and the NASA actually just published a paper online, but they pull down afterward because it's still not accepted by since people say it's natural. Supremacy actually is something like here. And they claim actually that they will follow this roadmap and the quantum machine learning and also all the application. The final goal is to encryption of IS code will be broken by the quantum computer. So a lot of people doesn't think it's feasible, and they don't believe this will be, just like that, and the things will come out. However, if you go to the New York Fifth Avenue, 1900, 1900. Anyway, if you see the Fifth Street, and you see this very traffic jam here, only one car here, the rest is wagon. The rest is wagon. Nobody believes car will appear. But only 17 years later, still traffic jam here. All are car, only one wagon left. So Newman say, it looked like nothing is happened. Nothing is happened. Then, suddenly you are in a different world. That's what we are experiencing now. Okay, the Financial Times tell you about in the September 20th. They say the Google claim to have reached quantum supremacy. And I try to let you understand what is different between the quantum computer and the normal computer. If you have a calculator, compare with the pension system, just like the one-shot retirement chip. And if you have personal computer, it's just like you have monthly payment. You try to get that. The Moore's law, actually something like, if I compare it. So the first year, if you got one shot, you got 10 million NT dollar. So you put it into the bank, probably 1.2% interest. And the monthly payment, you got 100 million per year. And for the Moore's law, if I offer you 20,000 NT dollar, which one you will choose? most people think they will choose the monthly payment. But if you compare, keep going like this, the 4th year in the one-shot retirement ship, you still got 10 million. No, sorry, 10 million. Yeah, 10 million. But for the monthly payment, the 4th month, you got only 4 million. So, but for the follow the Moore's law, you only got 160,000. And so if unless you live longer, otherwise you should choose the monthly payment. You should choose the one-shot retirement only until you live 10 years further, after your retirement. And since we gradually match, so after 30 years, then this two will become much better. But if we have the new retirement ship, it's Nevin's law. The first year I give you 400. The second year, you only got 1,600. The 4th year, 2 to the 8th power, is only this amount. So it's much, much less than this. However, it grows very fast. On the 5th year, you got some number I cannot, say in English. But anyway, it's really like that. It's really like that. So that's the reason why the Nevin's law, if they are true, they will catch up the speed very fast. So I give you another example is that if you have only 30 qubit, 2 to the 13th power qubit is more or less like 10 to the 9th power. So that's compared with the state of that notebook. If you have 40 qubit, it's like the supercomputer, the largest one supercomputer here. So right now we have used the Google used the 53 qubit. That's the reason why they can do the comparison, with the Summit. But if you're 80 qubit, that means all the class computer on Earth only can equivalent to 18 qubit. If you have 160, all the silicon. But if you have 270 qubit, which means all the atoms inside the universe, that actually is not the real things. If you want to come to see how much the size of this computer, classical computer, all atoms in the universe, as I mentioned, you need 10 to the 81 power. That actually in 270 qubit. But if you count every bit, classical bit as 1 nanometer in length, then the dimension, the whole dimension is 3D. It's just like a Milky Way size. Even though you can build this machine, you have no place to store. If you have, such as a 370 qubit, the whole universe equivalent to your classical computer size. So the quantum computer power really comes from the Nevin's law. So the quantum supremacy actually, this paper was not formally published, but because they go up to the web, I saw that paper actually. The title is Quantum Supremacy Using the Programmer Superconducting Processor. It's the abstract. Actually, they mention about in the abstract 200 seconds to do the sample on the random number sequence, and can equivalent to the Summit need to the 10 to the 10,000 year for the Summit. Actually, this is Summit. This is the Sycamore actually from the Google. Actually, this paper actually claimed 2 big things. One actually is that the Church-Turing thesis mentioned about all the computational things can be done by the classical computer. However, this paper actually gives you say something like that. This is not true. Something classical computer cannot do it, and also can be done by the quantum computer. So the quantum supremacy actually indeed, right now is achieved by the quantum computer. The detail I will not mention here. Actually, this is the main result for that paper. Actually, as you can see, they do the how do you say that? They do 5 million times on the quantum computer to the sampling the problem, and then compare with the Summit for the 12 qubit until 15.3 qubit, and compare with the classical computer. And here actually they compute in 3 different ways in the quantum computer. But in here, they only use one single way. They call the elite data actually for this. Actually, from here, actually, you can know. Actually, for the classical quantum computer, if you want the same fidelity as a quantum computer, the 200-second, computation inside the quantum computer, if you want to have the same fidelity, the submitter probably need more than 10,000 years. Actually, they estimate actually it's 10 million years. So worldwide, they really, invest a lot of money like crazy right now. The end of last year, U.S. just approved the Congress National Quantum Initiative Act. They call NQI right now. The initial fund is 1.2 billion. And the US actually last October, they say quantum fraction initial fund is 1 billion euro. And the Japan actually every year they grant actually for the next 10 years, $2 billion US. And the China, they say it's the US news say, the 10 billion US dollar before 2020 in Hefei, they will initiate National Laboratory for Quantum Information Science. So why they do that? Because no one no single country afford to lose the quantum war. So this I gathered actually from the Ant-Man and the Wasp. You think that I don't know what you are been building, what all of that, quantum technology. And you can forget the nanotechnology, forget AI, forget cryptocurrency. Quantum energy is the future. It's a net gold rush. I want in. This photo actually is a month ago. Trump signed to establish the quantum committee in US to push the national quantum initiative. Actually, they ask the United States need to action immediately. And actually the threat, the last year, actually, the U.S. Army gave a threat military application saying a global race has ensured deploy the operationalization of the quantum technology for the use of military service. So Europe also initially they call the quantum fracture and the quantum freight from Europe. This is the kickoff meeting actually last October in Vienna. I attended that meeting actually. And they claim this is the future direction for them. And in the opening, they say, quantum science was proposed by European scientists in the early 20th century. Europeans failed to grab the opportunity in the first quantum revolution. Now the second quantum revolution comes. Europe must integrate all human and material resources, and they must provide the young people hope and attract world-class talent come to Europe. Let the young people stay in Europe to form the quantum fleet for the second quantum revolution. Let Europe once again to lead the world in this century. It's just like what our Minister Chen said. We need to let our younger generation stay in Taiwan, attract all the talent inside Taiwan. So right now, actually, it's again competition for the older talents. And this is the flagship keyboard in Vienna. This is logo for them. So right now, the quantum computer, they have a lot of competition, such as, D-Wave. They announced on the September 24th, just last month, they will provide the 5,000 qubit, they call advantage in the 2020 online. So after that, before that, actually IBM announced 53 qubit online. And also Google announced 21st, actually supremacy actually our quantum computer was appeared. So Rigetti actually is another, private company. They spin off from the IBM. They claim this year, the end of this year, they will provide 120 qubit online. And the China actually, they published one paper in Science last month. They claim they are the first group demo real quantum entanglement, GHZ, for the 18 qubit. And Ma Yun say he will invest how much? 15 billion US dollars for the future. And they wish 2023 everything can be made from China. So last year they formed one company called Pingtouge Semiconductor Company, and they even formed a think tank in Xinhu called Damoyue. They almost enlist all the Chinese, you know, the most famous quantum computer science people over there. And this is a roadmap for the Ma Yun. They say in 2023, quantum computer will apply everywhere. And this is last month, a few days ago, published on the web, Modern Diplomacy. They say, China new military technology, the operation of quantum computer by the end of 2030. It's a United States report. So actually, right now, the second quantum revolution become a different sense. The how do you say that? The congressman, the Will Hurt, actually, he mentioned about said, this is a new Manhattan Project, our race to the moon. United States cannot abdict the leadership in science discovery of international security. So actually, they really think the quantum race is on. Also, the Hudson Institute is the think tank of the United States. He mentioned to build the quantum computer just like the race to build atomic bomb in the World War II. And it's just like a Manhattan Project. And all hands had to be on deck. Money had to be spent. Research had to be done. And the access to our research and the scientific facility had to be denied to the Chinese, Russia, and other adversary countries. This is actually just announced last week, DOE new award project. All the astronomy physics, high energy physics, you need to have quantum in your project. This is one of them, the second one. Wu Sa, application of quantum machine learning to high energy physics analysis. Actually use IBM quantum computer simulator. And the Wisconsin University also give the news release. And Professor Wu say, we believe applied quantum machine learning method may as well a new direction to go. And the project title actually is this. This is the patent from in United States related to the quantum computer. This is just announced October 1st in Nature. As you can see, China overall, the patent right now is the first one in the world. And you can divide by 3 categories. One actually is quantum key distribution, which means quantum communication. China definitely is much, well lead actually in any other country. The second one is quantum computing. The third one actually is other quantum technology. So as from the patent, United States still lead the quantum computer, but the quantum communication definitely is China right now. The quantum computing patent family by top university, 12 top university from the patent-wise. Right now, 4 universities from China. Actually, Tsinghua University, Chinese Science and Technology University, Zhejiang University, and the Beijing Technology University. This is the patent map for the quantum computer qubit. It's already dominated by US company. D-Wave is a Canada company, IBM, Microsoft, Google. All kind of qubit, we will mention that. Quantum technology, quantum circuitry, and application. So that's the background. So it's not only a science research for this one. It's really some kind of the, national security issue for a lot of big countries. So actually the quantum computer is not a new thing. They actually was proposed, the first conference on the physical equation was done by 1980, IBM and MIT. Recently, they become growing so fast because some reason, the coherent time actually was extended. So people can do the real things on the quantum computer. So 5 minutes for the quantum physics for CXO. the reason why, we need to provide quantum physics for here, because actually every time, when I go outside to give the promotion, a lot of people, when they heard about the quantum, they think they cannot understand. But for this, it's become the daily life in the future. So we need to let people know quantum is easy things. Actually, the quantum Turing machine is just right now what we do call universal quantum computer. The quantum physics actually nature give you, just like Feynman said, the nature actually was not classical, it's a quantum. We only can use the quantum to similar quantum. So that's the reason it's necessary for the quantum computer. And they also combine with the mathematician, actually the Turing machine, the idea. So quantum Turing machine is a some kind of the universal quantum computer. So we need, for the quantum computer science application, you need to know a little bit quantum concept. You still also need to computer algorithm. Then you need to have good maths, logical to implement your program. So actually right now, the classical bit is either 0 or 1, but the qubit actually is not 0, not 1. It's just like combine of 0 or 1. So the classical qubit is just like if you have both sphere, the classical qubit is just like North Pole and the South Pole. But the qubit actually can be the superposition of the classical bit, 0 and 1 state. And so it can describe in the infinitive state of this on this Bloch sphere. However, if you have 4 qubits, they are not 0, 1, 0. They are not only 4 digital. They are not also 4 additional 4 Bloch sphere. Just like this. They actually are from a new Hilbert space by 4 qubits. So 2 to the 4th Hilbert space. 1 qubit is only the two-dimensional Hilbert space. But 4 qubit actually is 2 to the 4th Hilbert space. So actually they are something like that, entangled the new geometry here. Of course, if you want to operate it, you need to know some metric operation. This such as this actually is one actually you need a 2 by 2 metric. For 2 qubit, you need a 4 by 4 metric to operate it. So the paradox actually Schrödinger cat. A lot of people when they hear about Schrödinger cat, they will think they cannot understand. It's philosophy. It's not real things. However, right now it's the real things. Not only when you measure it, you will find out that they will collapse to the classical result. But however, right now the things become more complicated. It's not only a single Schrödinger cat. It's a lot of cats singing together. They are entangled each other. So they are mirrored to each other. So they can do more things than you expect. So actually, they are in the black box. But inside this black box is a new dimension of Hilbert space. You operate all the physics actually inside this new box. That's quantum computer. So what is a quantum computer? Actually, you need to know the quantum superposition and the quantum entanglement. The classical qubit, you consider 0, 1, tail or head or tail, only 0 and 1. However, quantum computer qubit is just like a rotating. If you want to easy to understand, just like rotating a coin on the table, they are rotating. If they have the 2, actually they rotate into each other, they entangle. No matter how you move, they still know where are they. So people use the 木兰辞 to explain this. 雄兔脚扑朔，雌兔眼迷离，两兔傍地走，安能辨我是雌雄? If you had only 2 rabbits, moving around in the grass field, and the one is male, one is female. So when you see from very far away, You cannot distinguish them. So they can be either male or female. However, if you get one of them and you open it, turn out to be male. So you know the other is what? Female. Some kind of entangled, but it cannot really describe. If you do some, how do you say that? 变性手术, change their sex and put them back. What's happened? The other also change. The other also. So some kind of the, if you want to understand. So actually, its entanglement can be say like, 你泥中有我，我泥中有你. You always know what this other one doing. So the superposition and the entanglement is really the new quantum property right now we use. So what is quantum entanglement? People say it's just like guided missile. You always can send to where you want to do. So American right now, they invent the app. You can download the app right now. Hello Quantum. You know, just type the Hello Quantum keyword into your, this is the Hello Quantum. It's some kind of the gate operation. We will mention about what is a quantum gate operation. And you can play around. Also in the IBM website, they invented one board game called Entangling. And you can play around. I asked my student play. They said 2 people play. And you need to probably an hour to finish the game. But after you play around, then you know what is the concept of the quantum game. You know, United States, even right now, suggest you need to invent a lot of quantum game and the quantum book for training people since age 3. Because quantum mechanics in the next 20 years is not knowledge. It's common sense. You need to use that every day. So you need to build your common sense since you are chosen. So they do have quantum physical baby. October 7th, Amazon just have a new book, say Cupid and the Kuiper Tree. For the people higher than age 5. Right now you can buy that online. I checked what is a Kuiper Tree. The first time when I saw it, people said to me, Kuiper Tree is some kind of the special plant in Africa. It's endangered species. So what do they say? They say, why you spend your effort to learn the things like Kuiper Tree? It will be disappeared after 20 years. Cupid is your future. So you need to learn the cubic. They say it's a new book. So just like what is that? Ouya. Anyway, we learned when we were young how the smart Ouya to drink the water from the bottle, put the stone inside. So water level was going up, so you can drink the water. But the more clever Ouya right now use the Shiba instead of stone. The Airbus actually is very smart company. They post the quantum computer contest for worldwide students. They post the 5 problem. It's very difficult problem. I asked my students actually to join the game. Actually, they accepted the proposal before the end of this month. So if you have time, still you have chance. You give your proposal to Airbus. If they approve, they will give you all the research budget you wish. But actually, the problem actually is very complicated. And this one such as this. How such an air flight from A to B, when they doing the flight, you know, the route, how to make the flight the most energy safe, and to do all the quantum computer calculation. And this one is very interesting problem. You have a cargo, how to arrange your cargo in the most optimized way to save the gas rate. So that's the 5 minutes for the quantum physics. Right now we have 5 minutes for qubit and the quantum computer. Actually, the qubit right now have a very, very diversified, you know, still not really narrow down to a single result. But the most popular one actually is use the superconductor, and also is the flux. So you can have a solid state measure, NMR, photonic and the co-atom ion trap. All the physical, unit, as long as you can provide quantum property, can be the qubit. This is the summary I made for all kinds of possible things: ion trap, quantum dot, topological narrow wire, photon, NMR, superconductor, and the MV diamond, and also co-atom. Of course, right now, the most practical one, the largest one, is still superconductor. Why is this reason? I will mention later. But anyway, I cannot have time to mention all of them. I probably will introduce a little bit. What actually the NTU IBM quantum computer doing? This is a whole quantum computer architecture. From the hardware all up to the application. We actually only emphasize on here, the promotion, the quantum algorithm and the application. So the worldwide actually is just like universal quantum computer. They have a lot of people invest, such as IBM, Google, Associates, and all the hardware. Now the software actually is just coming, and a lot of people doing like that. The reason why I suggest the most to do the software and the application, because actually for the hardware, you really need a lot of budget and a lot of human resources. But for software and application, probably you need one single smart enough student, then you can do it. But anyway, the quantization, you need the easy way is still spin. You need a quantum state. And you need to, of course, you can use the electron spin or proton spin, anything, as long as it can be controlled. You need one, zero state and the quantum, and the one state, the quantum state. So the easy way actually is doing your superconductor, capacitor, and the coil. So it's just like the LC circuit. It's just like conventional LC circuit. So they use that to actually design LC circuit. So if your frequency is a gigahertz, then you need to put this one down to the 10 millikelvin. However, the easy way to make the LC circuit is like a simple harmonic oscillator. The energy label is equal spacing. So it's not easy to control which label you want to control. So only after Yale University, they created the transmon qubit. Then suddenly quantum computer become useful. Actually, the idea, they put one more Joseph junction, one more Joseph junction inside the LC circuit. So this Joseph junction provide the sine wave potential. So then you got the harmonic potential plus the sine wave potential. So then the ground state and the first excited state is different. The energy level different with others. So easy for you control through the microwave. I think so. The IBM and D-Wave right now, what they did actually, they really used the flux qubit and to do the qubit. But however, a lot of decoherence things will come out. If this qubit maintain coherency longer enough, like all the quantum computer problem become resolved. However, because a lot of things interact with it, so a lot of noise and the decoherency, and if you want to remove all of this, it's non-trivial issue. People are smart. They actually provide circuit QED. They learn from the cavity QED. Actually, cavity QED got Nobel Prize in physics in 2012. And then they learn all the physics from the cavity QED. Right now, they design the circuit, just follow the cavity QED. They put one transmission line and they put a qubit in here. Qubit is just like the artificial atom, just like the QED problem, the real atom. And the transmission line, the microwave goes through, interact with the artificial atom. So the microwave actually just like the photon. Just like photon. So they really simulate this. However, everything can be designed by human. So actually, they have the exceptional small cavity volume, and they have a very large atom size. So the coupling become much stronger than the cavity QED. The coherence time can be enhanced by the cavity. So that's the reason why they really enhance a lot from the transmon design and from the cavity circuit QED. They enhance the coherence time very fast. As I was told from the IBM, they can achieve 500 milliseconds right now for a single qubit. For the double qubit is 100 milliseconds. So if they are coherent, it's like you can manipulate the superposition of two qubits. If they become decoherent, you only can come back, collapse to the classical state, 1 or 0. This is Professor Chen to result. Just published last week. A few days ago. Actually, Professor Chen's result is quite significant for quantum computing. The artificial the atom designed by IBM is similar to this one, the real one. They have one flux quantum actually oscillate, something like here. However, Professor Chen, they observed the hot quantum. The hot quantum actually is very different with the integer quantum. The reason is that the hot quantum actually something like the superposition of the up and the down state simultaneously, which means you don't need use the magnetic field to manipulate the superposition. You don't need to operate the Hadamard gate. Later we'll mention about. And the nature state, superposition state, is nature exists. However, the hot integer actually really imply the spin triplet, but the slate really behave like a Majorana fermion. Probably still need a lot of justification because non-abelian statistics need to be justified. But anyway, this is really a very big success, as I can imagine. If they are success, the two state, the clockwise and counterclockwise flowing electric current exists simultaneously, and this is some kind of the annual. Actually, they can provide actually some kind of we call the topological superconducting state, and then it's some kind of fault tolerance quantum computer will appear. Okay, anyway, the IBM actually use this kind of design. The mid cavity here, actually, then the temperature gradually going back to the room temperature. So people can access the signal from here. In between are all the design of microwave circuit. Okay, and other things I will talk about a little bit is quantum dot. Actually, quantum dot actually was doing by here. Professor Guan and the X department trying to do that because silicon technology in Taiwan is very mature. If we really can use the quantum dot to do the qubit, then Taiwan can become rich for the next 30 years. Next 30 years. So the most actually hope, the silicon qubit can be success. But anyway, the quantum dot actually have a lot of way to do that. Just you make they are smaller, then you can control the quantum dot. So they have 3 ways to do that. One is we call the charge quantum dot. The other is spin quantum dot. Right now, recently, we also have the excited action electron quantum dot. Just you need to control, have the quantum state 1 or 0. So the first proposal actually was by Ken, 1998. He proposed to use the phosphorine impurity implant into the silicon. So phosphorine then will become a qubit. So then you can use the circuit to control this qubit. However, the difficult thing is that it's not too difficult to make one single qubit because it's impurity you put inside. But if you want to every impurity to be arranged in just identical environment, it's almost mission impossible now. So this doesn't work until now. And Professor Guan tried to use another way. The Australian people right now actually was doing a lot of things. It's used the silicon 28 the natural silicon is silicon 29. However, the coherent time is not longer enough. If you are purified to the silicon 28, the coherent time will be extended 6 times. It's quite longer than gallium arsenide. So people think that if you can use the silicon 28 to make the quantum Q dot, it's a single electron Q dot, then you may make the qubit from the silicon quantum dot. So that's the effort, and Professor Guan is doing right now. The ion trap, you use a magnetic field to trap the ion, and you can do a lot simultaneously, but they are very slow. I will not go into this. Although also the nitrogen vacancy, because the nitrogen vacuum is the spin equal to S equal to 1, the qubit. So and they are very stable because carbon is very stable. So they can also is good candidates for the quantum computer qubit. And also the best things for the nitrogen vacancy is that they are really room temperature because they are very stable. You can buy nitrogen vacancy quantum computer right now on the market, but only 2 qubit, because they can spend a lot of effort to identify the artificial, diamond, have the 2 qubit next to each other, and they make it. But if you want to scale up, it's almost becomes impossible, because you don't know how to imprint the impurity inside the diamond. If you can do that, the quantum computer room temperature automatically, appear. And so impurity imprinted to make the physical quantum computer is not easy. It's not easy. Otherwise, the things already been done. This one actually is tabletop, not too large. I saw that, probably this size. 2 qubit for the teaching purpose, and 2 million NT dollars. I advise our chairman to buy one, to let the student to play around. This is topological qubit. Actually, it's quite similar to Professor Chen. Majorana fermion, the quasar particle, is a semiconductor narrow wide superconducting, the rounded, rapid. So the interface, they prove is a Majorana quasar particle we can. So when you do the quantum state, you prepare the Majorana state in here, then you operate it, then you measure it in the final. During the intermediate stage, because the topological protected, so the error cannot affect it. So it's become fault tolerant, quantum computer. And the Delft University from Holland proposed this idea. And they know the phenomena, not really do the qubit out, calculation qubit out. The whole group was acquired by the Microsoft. So you need to be careful. Your group will be acquired by Microsoft soon. This is actually a photonic quantum computer, the Pan Jianwei. He also doing the quantum communication, the leading scientist and they demoed 20 qubit actually last year. And the photonic qubit has some drawback, is that it's not easy to store the result. You can demo, but the photon result will disappear immediately. So, summary of the qubit. You actually, for the classical qubit, it's true or false. Only to either one you choose. They have 2 states. But for the quantum qubit, it's all the superposition of possible state. So anything you can think about, as long as they are robust, coherent time is long, then you can make qubit. If you can propose a new idea, new material, you become a billionaire, definitely. IMEC right now try to do the 300 millimeter wafer. I went to their lab. They showed me the wafer. They really make the 300 millimeter wafer. The superconductor qubit and the silicon quantum dot. They try to do that, and also with the cryogenic CMOS, because low temperature, the CMOS design, and is different with the current state of art. So they do the cryogenic CMOS right now. So I try to show you is that this is really not only, how do you say that, a story on the air. It's really people try to catch it right now. So qubit 5 minutes, hardware 5 minutes. Right now, you still need a quantum gate and a quantum circuit. So 5 minutes for that. If you have the quantum computer, the classical computer, you do the, how do you say, 1010, those things, you do the linear computation in the classical computer. In quantum computer, you are not doing the same thing. You prepare your quantum state, you put into the quantum computer, and you do the quantum gate operator over there. Then you get your final result. It's still a quantum state. You don't do really the linear computation over there. Actually, you put your Hamiltonian over there. You do the something about time evolution over there. So actually, they have a lot of quantum gate. If you go to the wiki, type the quantum gate wiki, you see more than here. If you go to the Zhongwen Chinese, you say type the 量子闸. They have the most famous one. The single gate operator is Hadamard gate, Pauli X, Pauli Y, Pauli Z. Why the physicists have the privilege on here? Because they really use the Pauli matrix over there. So you also have the 2-qubit operator. You need to entangle the gate. So you have swap gate. You also do the phase shift. You have the phase shift gate. You have control NOT gate, Toffoli gate. You need to get familiar with those gate operator to have your quantum algorithm, quantum program to work. So actually the single qubit gate, the easy one, actually just like the Pauli X gate, it's just this matrix. You just reverse the state. But this is not a NOT gate in the classical computer because actually they are reversible. They are reversible. So the Z gate, Pauli Z gate is something like this. The Hadamard gate is very useful one. Actually, Hadamard gate, if original, the state is in the North Pole or South Pole. The Hadamard gate, they use the external magnetic field, can rotate the state into the equator, become the superposition of two states. And if Professor Chen, the material make the qubit, you automatically are the superposition, not in here. But in here, actually, you do the superposition, you introduce the noise to the gate already. So they will reduce the coherence time. But anyway, it's reversible. You can also do the reverse of Hadamard gate. So multiple gate actually is control NOT gate. Is that you entangle two gates. I will not go into here. This is a very useful control NOT gate. Is that actually if you have the 0 on the first gate, the second gate doesn't change. If you have the 1 state on the first gate, the second gate will swap. This actually is a control NOT gate. You use the Hadamard gate and the control NOT gate, you can prepare your bare state. So you really can do the bare experiment on this quantum computer. And you can do all different things because you have basic gate operator. You can do anything you want in the quantum science. Also, you need to do the measurement. We all learn, actually, the single photon can do the interference on the double slit experiment. However, you want to understand which slit they go through, you do the measurement. After you do the measurement, everything collects to classical result. So in the quantum gate operator, only do the measurement when you want to know the result. You cannot do the measurement all the time. This is the full circuit of the quantum circuit. You put your gate over there. Right now, IBM provides the quantum Fourier transform software for you. So you can directly, you don't need to write this by yourself. You can call the software. You do your initial state, then do all the gate operator, then finally measure. They call this quantum gate, they call Oracle. Oracle is something like the God Only God will give you the things. Okay, then the quantum algorithm, 5 minutes. Right now, not too many quantum algorithms because we don't have, we only have the quantum machine, quantum computer only recently. Before this real machine came out, only very strange mathematician will figure out something, never can do it on the real world. So actually, I will mention right now only probably 10 algorithms only on the. So 2 very famous one. One is the global algorithm. The other is Shor algorithm. Global algorithm is the searching algorithm. The Shor algorithm is they try to solve the, how do you say that? Prime number. Yeah, prime number. And also the Shor algorithm. The RSA code will be, and also the blockchain will be broken by the Shor algorithm. Okay, I will not go to the detail. If you are a classical rat, you can from the entrance, you have 8 exits. One of the exits, you put a cheesecake over there. If you are a classical rat, how you find this cheesecake? The only way is try and error, no other way. Until right now, the most clever way for searching is still try and error. So you only can do this. And also this rat need to be smart enough. If you go back, don't go to the wrong way. Otherwise it will cost you more time. So that's the only way. The global, right now in IBM, you don't need to write it by yourself. You just call the subroutine, global searching. They write the quantum computer software already for you. Right now, the rat eat the cheesecake here. Suddenly, Schrödinger can come. How he calculates classical rat? Make a guess. Did you know the answer? Remember double slit experiment. Single photon can go simultaneously through 2 slits. So if this cat is quantum cat, he can do the things. So he got the cat immediately. That's a global searching algorithm. They wrote the program for you. They take advantage of quantum, behavior. So they write the algorithm. The reason why they can do that, they do the things like this inside the algorithm. Shor, 1994, Peter Shor from Harvard University. He wrote a quantum algorithm for integer factorization. At that time, actually, no quantum computer. I don't know why he wrote this algorithm. But anyway, this algorithm shows mathematical issue much faster than 辗转传出辗转什么找 anyway, it's a conventional way to find the prime number. It's much faster than that. However, no computer. Right now, they have a computer can. So we really try that on the quantum computer. Demo, this algorithm is correct. Actually, the algorithm is very non-trivial. If you want to understand, go to take the class of Professor Guan, the quantum computer. Most procedure is easy. The hard part actually is here. You need to find the period of this. I will not go into the detail. And this period, you need to code one special program called quantum Fourier transform. The interesting thing is for the qubit, they have the phase. Interference will give you the result much faster. So actually, it's how to find the one remainder instead of find the x of r. And this is the hard part. You only need a quantum computer to do this part, the quantum Fourier transform. Actually, people usually ask, a lot of people say, how to understand quantum computer physics? And the one mathematical professor from Berkeley give this answer. He said, show algorithm the real concept. He said, if you actually, did you know if you don't have the clock, the natural period for person is about 26 hours. If you put one person inside a cave, he doesn't have the sun rise and down at all. So the natural period is about 26 hours. I learned this when I was a graduate student. My roommate was a student from psychology. And he told me like this story. They do the experiment, 26 hours. So the math professor from Berkeley mentioned this story. If one person lives inside the underground cave, his life cycle is 26 hours a day. However, on his wall, they have a lot of clock hanging on over there. Each clock have different period. Some of them 26 hours, some are 16, some are 25, 4.7. How can he realize which one is the right clock? It's similar to Shor algorithm. What you can do that? 有没有学生可以告诉我答案？可以告诉我答案就可以找来做 Shor algorithm. You have so many clocks hanging on the wall. How can you find the right period as your life cycle? Very easy. He put the one 去，现在这个反送中贴很多这个，这叫什么英文？便条纸。Anyway, 便条纸。He put some paper below the clock. Put one thumbnail in the center of the 便条纸. Every morning he wake up. When he see the hand out, our hand, along here, he move 1 centimeter along that direction. So the second day was like this. However, only the life cycle, the same as your clock, they were always along the same direction. Other thumbnail is random work on the 便条纸. So you are very fast to find your period. Okay, so you have an algorithm, you have qubit, then you do the quantum computer things in here. So right now you still need to do the quantum computer and the classical computer to get together. You do the things need a quantum algorithm in here. Otherwise, you still do in the classical computer. For the application, 5 more minutes. What you can do for the quantum computer? Frankly to say, almost everything. It's just like a computer. You can do anything you want, anything you wish. However, they have 2 different ways right now. One we call the universal quantum computer, which means every problem. That's what IBM tried to do. They want to solve all the problems. You have your problem definition, quantum algorithm, quantum circuit, then put the quantum compiler, then solve your problem. That's what they want to do. So this is a very, very easy problem in physics. I ask my student do that. You have a single particle put inside the square wave. So you write down your Hamiltonian, initial state. This is final state. Your initial state only have the potential and the kinetic energy. So actually you can divide by the time by a lot of infinitely small steps. So then you redo it again. So you have initial state gradually move to the final state. I will not go into the detail, but you need to do some quantum Fourier transform on your kinetic energy. Then you write down your quantum circuit. You put your quantum algorithm into the circuit. So you put the initial state here, they go through the quantum algorithm, then get a result. So if I have a free particle, initial I put in here. So position 0, 1 is the initial position. After a certain time, movement, they will gradually smear out everywhere. It's the same. But if your square is like this, then they will oscillate between two squares. They will oscillate between two squares. If you have more qubits, your position description can be more precise. So you really see the oscillation between, the particle tunnering between two squares. So this is they call the variation quantum eigensolver. It's just like the conventional quantum eigensolver. And I met the two startup company owner. They got a 10 million pound, money from the VC. It's two graduate students from Cambridge. What they propose, they try to find first eigenvalue use the variation quantum eigensolver. Right now, on the market is only the ground state. They propose an efficient way to find first eigenstate. They got a lot of money to support to do that. So actually, the variation quantum eigenvalue solver, they can solve the Hartree-Fock exactly. So people really write down the Hartree-Fock equation, use the quantum computer, the variation quantum eigensolver to solve the problem. The first problem actually was published actually at the end of 2017. They solved 2 electron system, hydrogen system, 4 electron system, 6 electron system. And the first one actually published on Nature. The second one actually published on PRL. Right now, you want to redo it, probably publish on Spin. But anyway, so you need to be first to apply the quantum algorithm on your problem. IBM estimate, because they demo the feasibility. So if you have 300 qubits, you can solve all the complicated material problem. So they think after 15 years, 10 years, probably 10 years, they can provide 500 qubits. So the quantum chemistry becomes the end. I don't know if it's true or not. So the quantum computer right now, we divided by gate, annealing, and inspire. So many companies involved. Actually, the gate operator is the Intel, Google, IBM. The quantum annealing is NTT and the D-Wave. They have another very special application we call the digital annealing. It's Japan company, Fujitsu. So quantum computer can do another things we call the quantum annealing workflow. They only try to solve one special problem, is the Ising model problem. Those problems can be solved all kind of the society, the optimization problem. So why this one is much easier than universal? Because you only need the entanglement between your next person. You only need the entanglement between your neighborhood. So actually, this is much easier right now. People really do like that. And that's the reason why D-Wave current, they can provide 5,000 qubits, because entangle is short. Entangle length is short. So as long as your problem, social science problem, traveling sales problem, can map into the Ising model, they give you the optimization result. The market for this is huge. And Fujitsu is very smart. I met the people from Fujitsu. I think between the real quantum compute came out, their product is the future. They claim, they can provide 8192 qubit. What they do, they use the room temperature classical hardware to mimic the quantum annealing behavior. And they can make the chip. I try to buy one, so I send an email to them, and they don't sell to me. So what problem they can be solved? All kind of the combinatory problem. Actually, such a salesman problem. If you have only 4 cities, your combinatory only 3, something like this. If you have 25 cities, then you have so many combinatory ways. So if you use the Summit, 100 petaflop, you need 30 days to solve all the possibility. If you have 30 cities, you need to 14万年. So you know the growth is tremendous. So classical computer, no way to solve that. But quantum computer, they do in the same way because they have 2 to the nth power. This is a real problem, Ising model. How to do the real problem into the Ising model, then you got the result. They have a lot of algorithm, quantum computer algorithm, try to optimize this kind of problem right now. This is a hackathon problem, will be, held next month in Tokyo. IBM announced the international hackathon problem. How to use the quantum computer to find the most efficient way to solve, to set up the convenience store within Tokyo City, to make you become the most efficient way, most profitable way to make the convenience store inside the Tokyo City. I have 5 students from a team to compete for this game right now. I told them, if you really got solution, don't give to IBM, give to me. We can start a new company. But anyway, what they do actually still Ising model. But this Ising model become more complicated. It's not only in the ferromagnetic coupling between the neighborhood, you also have the rival competition in somewhere. So you have for every site, you have your own on-site energy. And for any neighborhood, you have the different ferromagnetic coupling and anti-ferromagnetic coupling. So it's become very complicated and sophisticated problem. This is a very interesting result. Election 26, Clinton and Trump, 589, the most famous poll, election poll company. Before, 2 weeks before election, the estimation is like this. Clinton winning success rate is 98%. Trump success rate 1.7%. Turned out to be the final result. 306 to 232. What's happened? So people try to understand what's happened. Turned out to be classical computer is too stupid. Because right now, since the news transmitted in how do you say, communicate so fast, it's not like before. Used to be like the Newton year. The velocity is very small. Right now, like the Einstein age, all the communication is like optical speed. So I will not mention the detail, but anyway, so the 50 states of United States, all the state results will influence to the other state. Used to be your election poll result only affected your own election vote, but right now they really mutually, interference, and this result, 50 by 50 the matrix. If you want to do it real-time correlation. For the classical computer, they cannot do it. Only quantum computer can do that. So this is they use the same statistical result to recalculate, use a quantum computer to calculate. Turned out to be, they claim Clinton was lost a month ago, before the final vote. They recalculate, use the quantum computer to do the things. They also add a lot of, they call the Trump bias, Clinton bias. No matter which one, Clinton lost again long time ago. Okay, the last application, important application, actually will be finance. 1990, before the supercomputer came out, it's just like Abacus. We use the Abacus. And when the supercomputer came out, we have the quantitative finance. Right now, we have the quantum financing. So quantum computer in 2019 just like the PC in 1968 for financing. Next 10 years definitely will be the gap for the quantum financing. We actually do a lot of simulation right now. The portfolio investment. They also just like, if you have 1,000 customers come to the bank, say, I want to give you money, please invest for me. And the bank have 1,000, way to invest. 1,000 times. Classical computer cannot do that. Only quantum computer. Oh, this is also a demo. Volkswagen cooperate with the D-Wave. And Toyota right now collaborate with the Fujitsu. They want to do a traffic control in Beijing City and the Tokyo City. This is a Beijing City to Beijing Airport. If you don't control it, every car stuck on the freeway. Use the quantum computer, become something like this. Because if you have a 10 to the 6 car on the 10 to the 3 street, then your combination is tremendous large. No one can do that. Okay. The last application, we need a seamless migration. Have you ever heard about Y2K? Year 2000. If you never heard about that, you are too young. You are too young. But anyway, year to quantum computer. Right now they have a new name here, Y2Q. Its estimate is 2035. 2026, 2025 to 2030. 2025, all the RSA code will be broken by the very stupid mathematician Shor. Shor algorithm can solve the RSA code within 10 minutes. Blockchain, the elect function, and the Hasse function will be solved by Shor algorithm within 10 minutes. So people think right now it's very safe game. It will become very dangerous. So Andrew Yang, 2 weeks ago, put on his Facebook, the Google quantum computer could break encryption. The quantum computer researchers are trying to assure the world of conventional computer security are not observed. That's what you should actually to provide the post-quantum code right now. So actually, quantum computer, 天下武功唯快不破. Fast food, how come they can dominate the world for the food market? Because they are fast. The internet, e-commerce, how come they become dominated the commerce way? Because they are fast. So 2020 definitely will be the game for the quantum computer because they are fast. So remember, come to CITES office after this talk to file in your document to apply for the use of quantum computer. Right now it's free for everyone. If you register next year, probably will charge you. Quantum annealing machine learning. Machine learning right now, if you see, they are layer structure. Each layer, they have the different node. And the layer between, you only can communication information in front of you and on the back layer with you. Why you want to this constraint? The reason is that you are not fast enough. The normal machine, the true machine learning, you should can connect communication with every node. And it can be proved. The layer structure we call restrict the Boltzmann machine. If you want to do all the nodes communicate together, the result actually we call the Boltzmann machine. That's the real global minimum. That can be proved mathematically. So quantum machine learning, they don't have this constraint. They really communicate with every node. So big data with deep learning, they call AI. Quantum deep learning, we call the super AI. IBM, JP Morgan actually is the financial service with IBM. They really claim right now IBM quantum computer help them a lot. I don't know what kind of application they are doing, but they really can. Let's help them a lot. So this could be the most important discovery this century. You know, they dig out one small pyramid, but they don't know how big is this pyramid. Maybe just a stone. Maybe it's a really missing pyramid, big one. Depends how many human resources and how much money you invest. You know, who is this gentleman? Kevin, Lord Kevin. Lord Kevin, he said, he said, heavier than air flying machines are impossible. He said 1995. 1903, people tried to test the plane on the beach and much slower than the horse. So people laugh. How can the fly go into the air? But now, this is Los Angeles Airport. Within 1 hour, you saw so many flights came out. If you see the map, this is all the flight on there. So Lord Kevin is wrong. Watson, when he invented the computer in IBM, he said the whole worldwide only need 5 computers. Turn out to be, now we have 4.5 billion users on the internet. IBM Q experience. This is, I didn't update this map. Right now it's more than 200,000 users worldwide. And we have more than 10 million experiments running on the machine now. And more than 500 high school kids. All high school kids can do that. So you should can do that. So for young generation, the unknown knowledge is always better than the known. Last 2 years, there are more than 100 startup companies appear. The Nature just published on October 2nd, Quantum Gold Rush, the private funding pouring into the quantum stock. Gold Rush, 淘金热. This is cash for Qubit. As you can see, this is Nature. You know, last year, the fast growth is quantum software and application. And the location, we should add one in where? Here. But anyway, we will see. This is also just published October 10th. Quantum USA versus Quantum China. The world's most important technology race. Right now, it's a war by brand instead of gun, by scientists instead of soldier. So you guys should all join the war. Not only the quantum computing offers the significant scientific advance, but it will also alter the war fighting. There's the US and China, you know, some R&D research budget for the last 10 years. As you can see, American is afraid. The gap is narrowing. And every year they invest actually amazing money. Okay. So no time to ask when quantum computer will come out. Just believe it, learn it, and use it. That's what you should do. Please come to 7th floor to see Miss Bai to fill out the form. Right now, the whole Taiwan, we only have 60 users. And probably only 10 is frequent user. And I hope you will become the frequent user. The future is quantum. Thank you.
Okay, it's not bad. It's 1.5 hours. Okay, any question?
I'll just ask one from what I roughly just read. Moore's law runs into basically a scale limit.
Yeah.
So Moore's law runs into a scale limit of nature. So this when you go to more and more qubits, is there a scaling violation at some point?
Yeah.
Does nature have a scale in this Nevin's scaling? I mean Nevin's law.
Yeah. Actually, why Nevin say the hardware will actually the Nevin double exponential growth law comes from two reasons. One is the hardware, because actually the hardware they still follow the Moore's law, because right now the scale is not as small as the Moore's law, like semiconductor. So they will still follow the Moore's law going narrow down. It's still far away, such as the how do you say it? Superconductor coil they made is submicron only right now. They use aluminum to do the artificial atom. So the size is submicron. It's still far away from the Moore's law limit. So they believe they definitely can use the same technology, our current state-of-the-art technology, to follow the Moore's law every year, probably every 17 months to double the size. That's the physical size. However, the second exponential growth is called a qubit number. So when you narrow down, you double your physical size, and also you increase your qubit number entanglement. That gives you actually two count.
Of course, I understand that exponentiation, but just like when you said that quantum machine learning, you can connect all the qubits. That is the question. When at some point, is that really possible? This is a Carly's question.
Okay.
The noise and decoherence for a larger quantum system.
Yeah. Actually, right now, all the qubit, the decoherent time is a significant issue for all of them. And the reason why the superconductor qubit can go faster, because that decoherent time really increased a lot for the last 2 or 3 years. And I think the main reason is that actually the superconductor qubit is not a real physical qubit. They really use the human way to make the qubit. So a lot of things you can adjust easily from the engineering way. But the other things like something like a quantum dot, something like MV center, MMR, that's actually a natural limitation. The natural limitation is not easy to conquer unless you can control the new physics. And so the qubit, of course, the coherent time, still a long way to go. But right now, I'm more believe artificial atom probably have more chance to reduce the coherent time and the decoherent time.
You mentioned in a simulation using classic computer to simulate quantum computing. How efficient is that, and how much is the difference?
This actually, you're asking use the classical computer, similar quantum computer. Actually, Alibaba actually last year also do the same thing. They use the supercomputer, very large supercomputer, to simulate the 81 qubit. And that's the largest one simulation actually have ever been done in the world. And they use the very huge resources. You only can simulate probably the state art is 81 qubit. So if more than that, probably you cannot do that.
In the old days, when we're trying to solve the problem, we use, say, state function. Then we can use either, say, NAND gate or NOR gate. We can just implement. So now you have like 10 or 15 gates, new quantum gates. So can the each of them, the function can be replaced by other gain or?
Yeah, good question. Actually, in the old time, the classical gate is only one gate. Frank to say it's only one gate. Quantum computer assign her 2 gate.
Okay, any more questions?
One question: how much we're not seeing in the military circle, because although the Defense Department of the U.S. is mentioned, but it's not much mentioned. Whereas the front runners are like IBM and Google on the surface. So what is the DoD doing here?
Professor Chen probably can answer it.
They go dark. They don't want you to know.
I think the defense part is all in the dark, all on the table,
But that's what
all on the
I
table.
expect that, yeah.
And I only can answer something is that IBM announced 53 for all users in public. I believe in the dark side, it's much, much more than that.
But maybe the military just don't understand quantum.
Oh, the physics major, frankly to say, have a great advantage right now because you know quantum. Usually right now when I'm outside, when I try to promote, I always tell people, I forgot to show that slide. You don't need to learn anything related to quantum. If you want to learn quantum, you need to go back to the school to learn 15 years. So just use it, follow the procedure. You know, when you play the online game, which rule is make sense to you? At least for me, no any single rule is make any sense. You just follow the game rule, play your game. Don't try to understand it. That's what I talk in the outside. Because you want to ask me why they will go simultaneously go through 2 sleep, 4 sleep. If I want to convince you of this, you need to go back to learn 10 years. But you don't, it's not necessary for you to really understand, just accept it. It is a fact inside the quantum computer. Just use it.
Okay. Well, it's a very, very nice talk. Let's send the Professor Zhang again. So, oh, you have a right.